Europe is in so much trouble. Watch this video.
Okay, watch this. I think I showed this to people before, but it's doing the rounds again. Because there's lots of videos like this coming out.
إن شاء الله يا رب تموتين اليوم قبل بكرة. It's a good word in Arabic.
Imagine saying that to an old woman.
Nice to meet you. جماعة وأنا قاعد أشوف الأشياء المعلقة هنا يدي قامت تنتفض والله من الحرارة والشناق. ودك تكسر الصليب كله. Hi, how are you?
Have you an information to ask? This is a boat
Yes.
of the church.
You want me to pray here for this?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. طب عظم والله يا بنت الكلب. آخر عمري أنا تغريني والله في دلاكم على عن والديها.
He wants to beat up the old ladies. And they've done nothing but be kind to him. And this is he's thinking. Would you invite this man into your house? Let alone country?
Why would you invite this young man into your house? Just like this guy said, let alone to your country. Why would a country invite these kind of people among their people? Do you think this is a one-off? Do you think this is a very rare? It's not. Here, watch this other video. This happened here in a city in Germany. One among many, by the way. Look at it. Only males, military-aged men, no women, just young guys chanting this war cry.
وجزاكم الله خيرا أبطال.
Abtal means you are heroes. So you have this massive groups of like hooligan football fans, only they are religious fanatics, standing in your cities in Europe, chanting Allahu Akbar. And if you'd only knew how easily it is to radicalize these people when you're inside this group. I was speaking to one of my friends. Let's see if I have it here. So this guy, he's a doctor. He's an ex-Muslim. And he was the one who sent me that video. And that's what I told him. All those men who chanted here, majority of them are radicals, undoubtedly. In the heat of the prayer, they can become easily... In the heat of the prayer, they become easily a raging, violent crowd. And look what he said. Unfortunately, for the safety of my family, I can't go public, but using my status message in your videos was really good. Thank you for letting me feel I'm doing something. By the way, since last December, okay, that's not relevant. And then he replied to my comment when I said how easily they can be radicalized. Exactly, the opium of the people. The heat of the prayer and preaching got me once, and I know that feeling very well. So even the most moderate, friendly Muslim, in the heat of that prayer, when he's standing in that, mob and they're chanting Allahu Akbar, do you understand how easily radicalized these rallies can be and how dangerous they are? Now, I do understand the argument that it's democracy, it's the freedom to practice your beliefs, practice your religion, and for them, this is the way to go and pray in the streets. But when you have so many stabbings in Germany, so many car rammings, so many Allahu Akbar guys going and killing Christians, so many of these young guys, like this guy that we saw here, that is going into a church and just mocking innocent ladies or just being friendly to him. And in Arabic speaking, if you only knew what I would do to you. I want to kill you, I want to hit you, I want to humiliate you. And just showing, chanting, like hitting his chest and showing like he's just waiting for the day, for the moment to be activated. And that is the problem. Can Europe and Islam coexist? That's a very good question. And honestly, it's a tough question. You know what? On my next video, I'm gonna answer that question precisely because I think I have a solution, you might say, that might work. But that's a very, very small chance and percentage that it's gonna work. But if that happens, it might work. But in general, the European naiveness is just overwhelming, which reminds me of a story. When I was walking all of Jordan, I was walking it with a German girl. And we were the first ones to basically walk this entire trail called the Jordan Trail. And boy, we had so much trouble along the way. We got robbed a few times. We got kidnapped. A lot of violence. But in the spear of the hike, there were three people. It was me and that girl. There was a British guy who actually knew what he was doing. I think it was former special forces from the UK, or at least someone who knew how to handle himself. And there was a very naive European, I think she was Irish, doctor, Christian doctor, who was, all brainwashed by the pro-Palestine, or Zionism are evil, etc., etc. And I once tried to talk to her, but she kind of brushed me off because I was trying to warn her that it's not safe for a Christian woman or a Western woman to walk alone in a Muslim country. And she immediately said, you're so racist and this and that and Islamophobe. And I said, okay. So anyway, there was another American guy also that was walking. So out of the four of us that were spearheading that hike, the American guy got lost. I don't know if they ever found him. That girl, later on, after she ignored my warning, got kidnapped by a bunch of young men like this guy in the desert. They dragged her, beating her up and screaming into a cave. And they started, I don't want to use the word here so I don't get censored, but they started sexually assaulting her. And as she was screaming for help and these young men are doing whatever they want to do with her, somehow she managed to dial the phone, and there was a guy that heard her, and he started speaking in Arabic and saying that he is the police. And when that happened, these guys kind of got scared, left her, and ran away. She was taken to a hospital, and the government of Jordan went extra effort to try to cover it, to hide it, because they didn't want to hurt tourism. I understand Jordan, tourism is a big thing for Jordan, and they really want to invite Western tourists because they bring money, and that's not going to look good for them. But later on the same hike, I remember only me and that British guy kind of knew what we were doing, and sometimes he'll be ahead of me, sometimes I'll be ahead of him, and we'll be contacting through a satellite phone and giving each other tips because the trail was not very organized. There were a lot of places that they said it's going to be water, and there wasn't water. There were a lot of places that they said it's going to be an easy hike, but it was a dead end. And this can be very deadly when you're walking in the desert. So on that particular day, he was ahead of us, like about a day ahead of us. And I remember following his tracks, I suddenly saw the tracks of hyenas. I'm talking like the big savage hyenas, the Lion King style of hyenas, not the ones that are cute. And there was about 5 of them following his footsteps. So I started sending him messages again and again, trying to reach and tell him, listen, brother, be careful. There is literally wild predators following your tracks. And towards the end of that day, we came across a Bedouin camp. Now, because like I said, this hike was hardcore, we had to take every chance to replenish our water, our food. So we went to that camp and we asked the man if you have some water and food and we'll pay for it. And he was very noble, a real Bedouin, and he was very kind of honorable. Well, at least for now. The story gets very interesting later. And he came in and said, no problem, sit in my tent and I will go down to my land and I'll fetch some water from the well and I'll bring you. As we're sitting in the tent, kind of relaxing, there was a divider in the tent, and we were getting ready with our equipment, with our mattresses, and suddenly I saw through the divider, there was a small kind of hole. I saw an eye peeking, looking at us. So I came quickly and I looked at the eye and ran away. And I saw it was one of his 4 or 5 wives. And the girl with me, the German girl, came and asked me like, hey, you scared her, and that's not nice. Maybe call her to join us. So naive, it's unbelievable. And I told her, Habibti, listen, this is a tent of a Bedouin Muslim man. This is one of his 4 or 5 wives. You have a whole different idea. What does it mean, a wife in the Muslim world? If he comes back, and there was like a shotgun on the wall, and he had a shotgun on his shoulder, I said, if he comes back right now, and he finds me, a foreign man, sitting in his tent with one of his wives, he's probably gonna kill me and he's gonna go and beat the crap out of her. So that's not a wise idea. Let it keep like this. Let's not try to change the world order in the Muslim world. We're just guests here. Play along and let's just survive another day. He comes back and he grabs a shoe and he threw at one of the wives and he starts shouting in Arabic, go make us some food, what are you doing, lazy woman, etc., etc. Shouts at another wife, and then he sits with us all proud, all nice, and he's like welcoming us to his tent. And I think the German girl was shocked from all this interaction, but she was still kind of very confused. After that experience happened and we were on our way and we said goodbye to this man and we thanked him for the water and everything, I came and asked her a question. I said, what do you think about this guy, this Bedouin man that just hosted us in his tent? And she thought about it. She was a smart woman. She thought about it and she said like, well, in one hand, I think he was very honorable and noble and kind of like the romantic image of a Bedouin. You know, he welcomed us to his land, he offered us food, water, shelter, protection. But it kind of bothered me the way that he was treating the women. You know, I don't know how to think about that. So I came and I said, okay, what if I told you right now that in Germany, there's a group of men, Christian, white men, who went and started their own religion. And that religion, they have their own prophet. And in that religion, it allows them to have as many wives as they can. And women are literally children incubators. They can sexually assault them anytime they want. They can beat them. They can abuse them. They're literally slaves to make food, cleanse the house, and have sex on demand, and stay in the house and raise the children. And if anyone dares to criticize them or their prophet, they're allowed to go and kill him in the streets. What if I told you right now this is happening in Berlin? What would happen in Germany? And she said, like, whoa, that will be all over the news. The Secret Service will raid their house. They'll be arrested. Everybody was talking about it. This is disgusting. That's like evil misogynism. And I just told her, listen, I just described to you a typical average Muslim country. We're talking about hundreds of millions of people in the world are living like that. And these people are coming to Europe with the same mentality, and you guys are completely welcoming them and thinking that because you guys are so nice and you have really nice Butchen and you have very nice, I don't know, Lederhosens, that they will change their minds and their ways of life to adapt to you. But what's happening in reality, they're literally invading your countries and they don't want to change. They actually want to come and change you. And what you did is you opened the doors and you said, welcome. And they're coming right now. And in your face, just like this guy did, they're talking something different. But behind closed doors or in Arabic, they're talking a whole different language. And that is a big, big problem. And the real question, now I've been talking to some European friends of mine that are telling me that, yeah, you know, Europeans are waking up. Germans are waking up. I don't know. I'm not seeing that. Maybe you're right. Hopefully you're right, because if not, you're doomed. But I'm just not seeing that. So anyway, guys, my name is Mansour. I forgot to introduce myself at the beginning of the video. And these are the videos that I do. This is where I come and I try to talk about all the cow poop that is going through your head. Only I say it out loud. If you want to help this channel growing, go and do the like, subscribe, share. Help these videos reach a wider audience. And if you want to find direct way for me to keep doing these videos for you, go and check my Patreon where you can find direct practical ways to support my work. But until then, guys, don't do anything stupid. In general, just don't do anything that I would do. And in that case is don't go hiking alone or with a blonde girl in a Muslim country by yourself. It's just, you're causing a lot of trouble on yourself. I actually didn't want to do it, but she insisted that she want to do it. And I said, I'm not going to let her do it alone because I know what's going to happen to her. She's going to end up exactly like that Irish doctor. So I said, if anything, I'm going to go and I'm going to do my best to protect her and to make sure that she reaches from A to B safely. And I did. But wow. It was quite a hike, quite an adventure. So yeah, if you have anything to add here, leave it in the comment. I do my best to answer all the comments, and yep, see you next time.